Hey guys, welcome to Cult Fiction. We are talking about the end of the first. Is this the first season? This is the end of the first season of Daredevil, right?
Yeah,
First nine
technically it's the
episodes.
first season of Daredevil Born Again.
Okay, is now so it's now in the can. And then we're also because we've been kind of MIA for a little while, so we're gonna do a quick round of what you watching just to see what everybody's checking out. But let's get straight into it with Daredevil. I haven't really had a chance to talk to any of you guys yet about the end of the first season and about what it meant. I'm really anxious to hear what everybody has to say. I've got a couple things I want to say, but I'll throw them in as we go. Let's start with Bueller, Ben. What did you think about this first season?
I was hoping you were going to start with me, but that's fine. Um,
We can-
no. I thought it was good, dude. I like obviously I think we all enjoyed it. There's going to be no question around the board.
Mm, mm,
Um, but my questions and my observances aren't about the first season so much as they are about what's to come. And Eric can help me out with this. I could have sworn when we got into this first season, they said they had already pretty much recorded 18 episodes. So
right.
in a 9 episode break, and then we're jumping in again. Yet I'm seeing stuff online where you're seeing characters confirmed for season two, yet season two is not going to start until sometime next year. So what happened to these other 9 episodes that we thought were recorded? That's where
Right. I thought it was going to be a short break and we get another nine.
I'm
But
super
but
lost on
that's
that.
not what's going to happen, right? Maybe Eric knows. Do you know
I'm pretty sure
what's
they I'm pretty sure they shit canned him. Yeah.
wow.
See, and I thought that they
Okay.
they 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 kind of retconned it and re-recorded stuff because we saw there was a pretty obvious change in direction in the first season when and a lot of people called this out online too, where you could kind of see where like, oh, obviously this is where Feige or whoever stepped in to kind of
Right.
change things. Um, and
They
and I,
should
I kind of felt that. I'm not too quick to jump on that because I'm not super observant when that kind of thing happens, but I did feel like there was a change in direction. And I'm like, well, we still got 9 more episodes after the break. It's not a big deal. And then
I
here we
think I
are.
think I should restate. I don't think that they shit canned actual episodes. They shit canned the story for the other nine. They had made these nine. They had made these nine, they had seen them, and they didn't like the direction it was going. And then they reshot a ton of the first nine and totally shit canned the story for the next nine
Okay, so the next
and
nine that are coming out have been changed, is what you're saying.
have been changed.
So
And
is
that's
that
why
is that going to
So,
be season two then, the next 9?
so it's
right,
nine
that's a
episode
good
season.
question because technically, yeah, no, that's a good question because I don't know for a fact. I
Yeah,
don't
I
know
don't
for a
know.
fact
I don't
because
know either.
because I was told initially that it was an 18 episode
Right.
season.
Right.
And now and that it was greenlit for a second season. So my thinking is that's another 18 or at least another 9 or
Or
10 or whatever.
something.
But
Yeah.
now the way they broke it up is like was what we just watched season 1 and then what's coming out probably early next year season 2.
That's where my confusion comes in, and that's
Yeah. You know, I'm
why
confused
that's
about it too,
why I didn't want to get too far ahead of myself. And
right.
I've seen things online, and I don't want to call them spoilers because I don't know what's going on.
Right.
When we first started talking about Daredevil, I said Deborah Ann Wool was confirmed for 17 out of 18 episodes. That's what IMDb said, and
Right.
that Feige was confirmed for 1 out of 18 episodes. Yet he was also confirmed to come back for season two. I
Right.
also, sorry, spoiler, I had no idea fucking White Tiger died in
Right.
December.
Right.
Like, and
Yeah.
so it kind of makes sense that his character's not coming back. I get that. That caught me off guard.
But
Sorry.
somebody's taken up the mantle though, right? Like
Yeah, it's
his
Well, it's
probably
gonna be
gonna
his
be it's
daughter or
probably
his
gonna be
sister.
that the niece or
right.
Yeah.
whatever
Oh
Right.
yeah, his
that
his niece or his sister. Yeah, for sure.
Right.
yeah.
So all this stuff going on, I had no idea. And I know John Bernthal didn't sign on initially because he didn't like the way they were pushing Punisher, and then he signed on later on
Mm.
because they were able to rewrite it. Daredevil, Charlie Cox was like, I don't like how this is going. Kevin Feige stepped in. But I honestly thought we had 18 episodes in the can. So to have, oh, season one's done after 9 episodes, and season 2 now is confirmed for Deborah Ann Wool to come back. Well, she was already in 18 episodes, so what the
Right.
fuck? I'm super
I
confused
mean,
about
it sounds like what Eric said, that they had 18, but they cut 9 of them and just said
Yeah.
we're not gonna do this, which is fine with me. If it was a crap story, I'm glad to be rid of it.
Yeah,
Right. Like if
100%.
John Bernthal
100%.
and Charlie Cox are like, I don't like it,
And then I don't want to see it.
then I don't want to see it.
I don't want
Right.
to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Like, so, you
Yeah.
know.
So let me get Alex. What was your take on these 9 episodes in comparison to the rest of the Daredevil saga so far? Like, how do you think they held up?
I mean, I'm probably in the same boat with pretty much everybody. I really enjoyed this season, and it was like it felt like a kind of a return to form in a way
Yeah.
for Marvel, you know, in the way that I haven't seen Thunderbolts yet, but I heard good things, so I'm kind of hoping that they're sort of hearing the voice of the people a little bit and starting shifting the boat a little. And go, no, you don't think so? Because this was good.
Have you seen the trailer for Ironheart?
Ironheart was been like 5 years in the making, though.
Yeah,
Like they couldn't
True.
not do it.
That is true. Ironheart
Yeah.
has been like in the can for like 2 years. They were trying to figure out how they're going to
It should
spring that on
fucking
people.
stay there.
You
How
know?
can they
no,
try to
hey.
make their money back on it, right? But
So
they're
it's
not
just
going
sort
to.
of, yeah, they put all the investment into it, and so they can't just not release it.
They
you
have to
know?
release it. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
that's
I mean,
what
as
Warner
far as
Brothers
Daredevil
does
goes, yeah,
when they don't
as
release
far
it.
as Daredevil goes, it fits in perfectly with the, I think, what's the 3 seasons on Netflix? It was 3 seasons,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
3.
Yeah, I mean, it fits in perfectly, and it syncs really well with everything that came before. Which, yeah, I'm really glad that that's what happened, because we don't know what happened behind the scenes, but just little things that people have said. I remember D'Onofrio even said that before the rewrites and everything, they were basically doing a complete reboot
Right.
with the same characters, and so it's just like they would ignore everything that happened on Netflix, but you're the same
Stupid.
characters, and he said he wasn't vibing with that very well. So it's like, and yeah, I'm really curious what they would have done with Punisher for John Bernthal to be like, nah, you know, I'm not gonna come in and shoot people in your show, you know?
Right.
Like that guy would shoot anybody, like in real life, shoot people.
Well, I guess I don't know if we've talked about this before, but I guess John Bernthal, when he got cast as Punisher, he went to a comic shop and he wanted to pick up some Punisher books just to kind of research the character.
Yeah.
And this is anecdotal, by the way. And the guy behind the counter was like, I know who you are. You're not getting these books. And he gave him some different books from the Punisher series and was like, please don't fuck this up.
Mm.
So according to the lore and the legend, John Bernthal took that to heart. So I like to think that makes sense if he was backing out of this series going like, no, this is not what I signed on for.
It makes a lot of sense, because I mean, I don't know what the timeline is like exactly, but I think at the time that he would have been researching or casting the role, like Punisher had become like a Frankenstein monster zombie or something in the comics.
Right.
So right, and it's just like, okay, so literally he's like Franken Punisher with like robotic arms or something, and it's just
So
like,
dumb.
yeah. And
So
so I
dumb.
could see a guy at a comic shop being like, no, no.
That's
You're
one of
gonna
the
get
things. Like,
Garth Ennis, Max Punisher.
I think
Well,
that's one
you
of
know
the
what?
toughest
Thank God for
parts.
that guy.
Yeah.
That's one of the toughest parts about the MCU right now, is that they went from like their inspiration being like the 1990s comic books
Mm.
to their inspiration being like this like 2012 to 2018 comic books, which are some of like the shittiest ones
Mm.
in Marvel history. There are some great ones in there, like the Gore the God Butcher story, even
Mm.
though, you know, people would argue that they kind of dropped the ball on that
Fuck
one,
that
right?
up, man.
And obviously like Miles Morales win, right?
Right.
But there's a lot of junk
Trash.
in there.
There's a lot of trash.
You know, like you know, we were talking about Ironheart, right? Ironheart has had like she had like a comic book run that lasted 12 issues, got canceled, and then she had like a trade come out, and even with that trade, and it was like brand new, I don't think it made like the top 75 comic books. It only sold 40,000 copies ish,
Mm. Right.
like that month. and there's no market for her, right? And they gave her a show, and it's like there's nobody else that you could have done. Like you could have done a Midnight Suns show,
Right.
and people would have lost their mind. You could have brought in
Yeah.
Ghost Rider. You could
Right.
have brought in John Bernthal's Punisher. You could have brought in Moon Knight. You could have done something like that, and people would have just been like
Somebody playing Blade.
nerdgasming all over the place.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and
There's only
but
one
you
Blade.
gave you
Only
what's
gonna
that?
be one
There's
Blade.
only
Oh,
one
and
Blade.
Blade, and
You'd
Blade,
have
absolutely.
to bring in Wesley Snipes, I
Well,
guess.
you
Oh,
know, turns out he was
Blade.
pretty accurate.
Like Blade, the biggest. I mean, Blade has to be one of the biggest like fumbles of bags
Yeah.
in the history of cinema. You know, when you're Disney and you're just like, we want diversity. Okay, fine.
You've got it.
Blade, bro.
Right.
Everybody wants Blade. Oh, and you have one of the better actors of the last decade and a half playing Blade. That's a win. Are you serious? How do you fumble that? How do you fumble
Delroy
that?
Lindo was in it.
When you're
Delroy
just like,
Lindo!
I want diversity. Cool. Blade, win. Mahershala Ali, mega win.
Right.
People clamoring for it, win. And you're like, we can't make the movie.
I don't get it.
Yeah, we can't write a movie with a guy with a sword who cuts vampires.
Mistake.
One of the biggest bag fumbles of all time.
I'm telling you
So-
right now, there's some lawsuits behind the scenes from Wesley Snipes we haven't seen yet.
I guess. I don't know.
Something.
I just want to say this though about Daredevil. I really enjoyed.
Oh yeah, Daredevil.
Yeah, Daredevil.
Yeah.
I just want to get because I haven't put my 2 cents in yet, right?
Yeah.
There's a couple of things that I wanted to say. First, I really liked seeing the development of the relationship between Kingpin and his wife, right? I think they're a really cool couple. They kind of remind me of Frank Underwood,
Oh yeah.
right? Like
House of Cards.
the House of Cards series from Netflix, right? How you had he and his wife were these power mongers.
That was a really good show for 2 seasons.
For 2 seasons, right? They had 2 really good seasons, and I feel like they're kind of like that. Like
that was only 2 seasons. Okay.
No, only 2 seasons were good.
Yeah, there was like 5 seasons that came out. Most of it was trash, but the first 2 seasons were excellent. But it was their dynamic as this like this power hungry couple, right? And I feel like Kingpin and his wife are like the embodiment of that. I just think there's a lot of really cool possibilities there. And then something Eric and I have talked about. I like that the Punisher is back. I like that he is such a stark. He's like a counterpoint to Daredevil, right? Because I think a lot of the series has to do, and it has throughout the series, from the first 3 seasons into this season, has been kind of an argument between Daredevil and Punisher. Because Punisher is like, I got no problem killing people. Like, I'm fine with it. I am fine with it. I'm fine with killing people. And Daredevil doesn't want to kill anybody, right? That's his whole thing. And that's rooted in a spiritual disagreement. You know what I mean? Like at the heart of it, Daredevil is a Catholic, and Punisher clearly is not. Right? He's a complete materialist, and so I just think it's fascinating to see those 2 characters play off of each other. And I thought they did a really, really good job in this season. Some of those action scenes, I think I called it before the season started. I said there's gonna be some harm in this show. There definitely,
Dude, that
there definitely
season
was.
finale with Kingpin.
Yeah.
That was.
It was good. It was real good.
The kids aren't in the room.
Yeah,
Well, yeah,
Game of
no, I
Thrones,
mean,
that guy's
so-
good.
Not for kids. Yeah.
I
Not
don't
for
know
kids.
if we talked about it before, but I brought up the door scene in like season 2 of Daredevil.
No, season 1.
Season 1, okay.
You're talking about the car door?
Yes,
Yeah, that was like season 1.
but I hadn't watched the finale.
That was like his first moment on screen, wasn't it?
It was one of. It was the real, because he was on the date with Vanessa and he got embarrassed. And that's why he killed that guy.
Right.
So I brought that up to a coworker, and I hadn't seen the finale yet, and he was like, "Yeah, just watch the finale." And then, of course, I saw the finale, and I was like, "Okay, cool, we're back on track then." That's
right.
pretty awesome. And I'm happy with that. I'm happy that Disney decided to let go and let God, so to speak. But if I could jump back in real quick, there's a few things where with Daredevil, and I don't want to get too far ahead of myself here, and I don't want to spoil anything because I don't know what's going on with this series as we talked about
Right.
in the conversation. But god damn it, dude. I saw a picture and I apologize in advance here of Daredevil and Bullseye behind the scenes, and Daredevil is wearing a suit that has DD on it, and
Mm,
I got to ask why?
yeah.
Why? Some of these costumes do not translate into the real world. And if
Yeah, I would say that's 100% because of like the people are clamoring for it. Like the hardcore like comic fans are like, put a DD on a suit already.
it's just,
Put a
but
DD
it's
on a
just
suit.
why, dude? Some of these things don't work in the real. If we're gonna make this real world stuff, that doesn't make any fucking sense to me.
Yeah,
So
it's a little cartoony.
I will say this. I will say this. That particular suit that you're talking about is the Shadowland suit, and it's a full black suit, and it has the red DD on it.
Okay, I
Now,
can get on board with that. I can get on
it's
board with that.
possible that the reason they went that route is because to massively differentiate it from his like homemade suit. You know, the
Right.
homemade suit that he was where he just had the scarf around his eyes, but he was basically in a black suit with hand wraps,
Yeah.
right?
Oh yeah.
Maybe that's the thinking. In this case, it's like, okay, this is still an armored suit. It's black. We're gonna put the red DD on it to, for the color palette, all this kind of stuff. And I just know from other comic fans, it is it's they want it, and it's also gonna sell merch.
Right.
That's the other thing. Like, let's be honest, I remember watching, there was a particular episode of, I believe, the latest season of Mandalorian, right? The one where Moff Gideon got his own like suit and everything.
Right.
And I remember I called our buddy Paul, who is a huge Star Wars fan, and he and I both collect Hot Toys, statues, all that kind of stuff. I said I counted no less than four new Hot Toys in that
Sure.
one episode. I was just like that. The IG-88 with Homeboy inside with Grogu inside of
Right.
him, hot toy. The Moff Gideon guards with their own jetpacks, hot toy. Moff Gideon in his Mando suit, hot toy. It was just like
Right.
I counted like 4 or 5, and he was like 100%. And they've made hot toys out of all of them.
Well, let's see. Let's see
And
if
I think
that
that's what's going to happen with Daredevil too.
let's see if that costume actually shows up in the show, right? You don't know what's going to
Well,
happen.
it was a behind the scenes photo. That's why I think it's real. And
Yeah.
I just don't and
Maybe it was scrap
we
material.
we can make this an episode later, but like certain costumes translate really well to the screen and certain ones don't. And with the new Fantastic Four coming out, I think they made it work only because it's an alternate universe and these guys are the only heroes of their planet at that point in time. And they're astronauts. Like, it's their suits. It's fine. It
Right.
works. I can give that to them. But like back, was it, don't crucify me. Was it Zack Snyder who made the original X-Men movies?
No, no.
Brian Singer.
Bryan Singer, yeah.
Bryan Singer, thank you. So like I think he had a good point with the black spandex. And I know Hugh Jackman made a joke about it, like I'm not gonna wear black spandex and blah blah blah, but like it kind of the way they laid it out made sense. So some costumes work, some don't, and I don't think a fucking blind hero wearing DD on his chest makes sense. But if it's for marketing, it's for marketing.
Yeah, if it was in Braille, that would be another thing, right?
Absolutely.
Is that what you're
100%.
saying?
Yeah, 100%.
You're an ableist bastard.
That being said, I don't want to fuck things up here, but the end of Daredevil, when he says we're going to need an army, we're all thinking the same thing. Who are we getting, right? What's going to happen here? Is he just going to enlist more people from the streets, or is he going to bring back other characters from the past? We know that we've touched on Miss Marvel because of her dad in the series. I don't like her in this show because it's so grounded. But are we going to look at any of the Defenders? And You can edit this
easily
out if
have
you want.
Jessica
Edit it
Jones.
out. But apparently Jessica Jones has been signed on for an upcoming season.
Sure, I'm fine with Jessica Jones. What about Elektra?
I'd be more happy with Elektra than I would with Jessica
Like, if
Jones.
you want an army, it seems to me that the Hand
Yeah.
is, you know,
Right.
I
an
would
army.
love that. I would
So
love that.
if we're getting comic booky, Daredevil's Shadowland outfit is the uniform he wears when he becomes the leader of the Hand.
Okay.
And I like that. I like that a lot.
So
So I think that's what the we need an army thing was foreshadowing, was that the Hand is coming back. But you know, we'll see. We'll see what
we'll see.
we'll have to do a
It's not
predictions
like
episode sometime between now and when the next season comes out. We'll do a predictions episode for
yeah,
sure.
certainly they don't go beat for beat. You know, they could
Right.
change it completely. Like
Mhm.
like you said, it could be they could bring back Elektra. She could be the leader of the Hand, and that he, you know, he agrees to be her betrothed and blah blah blah,
Right.
and rule with
Co-leader,
her. You know,
whatever.
Oh,
just so he can get the army and blah blah blah. And then he's like, "Psych! I don't
Right.
really want
I
to be."
don't,
You
I don't
know,
recall where she ended up at the end of like season 3. Where did she end up in the last Daredevil series?
you know what? I don't think that she was in. If she was not in
Yeah.
season 3, she was in Defenders. She was essentially the main villain in Defenders,
Mhm.
and I think that she got buried with Daredevil at the bottom of the building, but of course
Well,
he lived, so
so she
you know,
probably did too.
so she probably did too.
There was no definitive end of that
Right,
character, so that's good. Right? So they can bring her back.
right.
Okay, well that's
Plus, her
cool.
coming back to life seems to be like her thing in the comics anyway.
Right. Right.
So it's like,
All right, well let's do a quick round of what you watching. I will tell you guys real quick. Alex already knows this. I've already watched season 4 of Love, Death, and Robots.
oh yeah. I want to see that.
It just
Was it
dropped
good?
here not too long ago. There's a couple that were really good. Most of it was not really to my taste. I would say there was 3 that were like really solid. I think it's only 10 episodes this time around, but there was one that was great. That was the one that we watched. Alex and my parents, we all get together once a week to watch a movie or something, and so we watched it. It's called For He Can Creep, and so that was probably my favorite of the bunch. What have you been watching, Alex?
Honestly, I just started watching Andor because the season finished, and kind of snuck up on me. I thought there was still more to go. I was only halfway finished, and people told me, no, it's over. So I'm like,
Yep.
oh,
It's all out.
snap. I'm going to get on top of that. But that's sort of what I've been doing the last couple of days. I haven't finished it yet. I'm not very far, but really that's what's taking up my time. And I have more to say about it when I'm done with it. Because, right now it's just setting stuff up here and there. It's a bit
Just
of a
setting the
slow
tape.
burn.
Joe and Eric, have you guys watched season 2 of Andor yet? Because I think
I have
we're
not
gonna.
finished season 1 of Andor.
Oh man, you guys are
I
killing me.
know.
You're killing
I
me.
haven't finished episode 1 of Andor.
Episode 1. He's outdone me.
These fucking guys. You really should.
I need to get on it.
Season 1 of Andor is one of the greatest stories in the Star Wars universe.
So the craziest thing about this is that I read because of where Andor leaves off and the movie pick up. Apparently, the Death Star operated for 5.5 days.
Well, that's not. Dude, don't be spoiling stuff. But no, if you guys haven't seen it yet, I
haven't seen any. I haven't seen.
I don't want to
of
give
it.
anything away. The Death
I'm
Star.
not-
But you remember Rogue One.
Bro, if that was a spoiler, I'm sorry. I did not realize that was a spoiler.
I don't think it was. Okay, but here's the thing. If you watch Rogue One and you watch episode 4, right? In episode 4, they're like, we have to test this space station. Alderaan was the test.
Right.
Right? So it was like, yeah, it was brand new in episode 4.
Dude, I am 100% sorry. I had no idea.
No.
I'm sorry.
It's whatever.
It's no. I'm just saying I don't want to dwell on that, but because the Death Star is certainly part of the Andor saga, right? I mean, obviously
because Rogue One is part of the Andor saga, essentially.
So I don't want to. Really, what I'm saying is I don't want to give anything away because I've seen all of Andor, and I know you guys haven't seen it yet. so I don't want to accidentally give anything away. But you guys should absolutely watch it. It's great. And we can talk about season 2 after we all watch season 2. We should definitely do we should do a cast on that. What about you, Bueller? What are you watching?
So obviously watching The Last of Us. I think the very last episode that I saw was one of the best performances I've seen on screen. And I mean, that could have to do with like other outside influences and stuff, but man, that was a really powerful episode. It was like uh it was a filler episode.
Is it all out? Season 2?
No, it's not. But damn, this last episode that came out was pretty phenomenal, man. And I think Pedro Pascal, he might earn himself an Emmy with this one. It was
I think I'm gonna get started on it this weekend now that like my son's school's over and he's not doing homework until 10 o'clock at night all the time.
Yeah,
Mm.
this was a great episode. I don't know much about the second game. I know a lot of people didn't like it, but I'm enjoying the season. And I think the actress playing Ellie, like, you know, people we poke fun and everything, but I think she's doing a great job. I think her and Pedro Pascal are doing a great job. I really do. It's been a good season so far. I'm really enjoying it. I've been watching Mobland, and if you haven't seen Mobland,
Interesting.
That's
it
the one with Tom
starts off
Hardy, right?
Tom Hardy, Helen Mirren, Pierce Brosnan,
Right.
and there's more that I can't think of off the top of my head. But man, I fucking love Helen Mirren.
Yeah.
I drafted her. I drafted her when we did our movie draft. I love Helen Mirren.
From right up from underneath me because I was gonna pick her first.
I would fucking stab her in her goddamn eyeball with this character. She is such a gigantic piece of shit, dude.
She's amazing. She's an amazing actress.
But I love her for it. I love her for it. She's doing a great fucking job, dude. If you watch Mobland, I think the first couple episodes are like, whatever. And then it gains a lot of ground as you go on. I just watched episode 8. And it's just like, and her character builds throughout it. Like, she's not great to begin with, but god damn it, she's doing a great fucking job of being just a piece of shit. So good for her. And we just picked up Yellow Jackets, which has been out for a minute.
Right.
Season
Yeah, but I'm thinking about getting into that.
Yeah.
So we did. Season 3 is it's in the middle of season 3 right now. Season 2 apparently is not available on anything that we pay for. So we had to stop with the end of season 1. But another just all-star cast. The women playing the adults of the girls. I mean, you got Juliette Lewis, you got Christina Ricci. I haven't got into season 2 yet, but I know Hilary Swank shows up. I also know Elijah Wood shows up. Like, there is this they spared no expense on casting, man, and they've done a great job. It's a great story. It's Lord of the Flies, but with a female soccer team, and it's pretty captivating. So that's what I'm watching.
All right. What do you got, Eric?
Hey, I blew through Dexter, whatever. Original Sin, thank you. Right. Dexter Original Sin in like 4 days because it was just one season. It was like
Smashed it.
And that was pretty good. It was better than I had anticipated, you know. I thought the guy that they got to play the Dexter kid was really good. At first, first glance, I didn't like him in the very beginning of the show because he had long hair. But as soon as he cut his hair, I was like, okay, now I can see Dexter. I think I told Jubal that the guy who plays Angel, he kind of looks like he's just doing an impression of Angel, you know, because the guy who plays Angel has a very distinct voice. Right. It's a very unique voice. And so it looks like this guy's trying to be Angel. Right. I thought that Christina Milian, who is playing LaGuarta, she's pretty good LaGuarta. Like, I mean, as far as like, could I imagine her being LaGuarta, 15 years before? Yeah, I think, it works,
Okay.
So I think they did a pretty decent job with the casting. Christian Slater's in it. It's good to see him doing stuff, and he was good.
What's the new series? The new Dexter series is Resurrection.
And I think that starts in July.
Okay.
I think it starts as soon as like July 11th or something like that.
Absolutely.
So
They're getting on that. All right.
Yeah,
That's
they're getting
cool.
on that. And then from what I understand, they've already greenlit season 2 of um Dexter. I've already lost it. Why am I so bad with
Original Sin or
Original Sin? Why am
Resurrection?
I so bad with like names of shit? It's so
Right.
crazy. But I guess they've already greenlit season 2 of Original Sin, and then they've got Resurrection coming out in July. So
Wow. All right. Cool.
Getting
Well,
some of
that's
that Dexter monies.
yeah.
getting that Dexter monies. Yep.
That's what we got. All right. Thanks for
Which is
joining us,
funny because I
everybody.
never even watched Dexter, anything about Dexter until about 6 months ago.
Yeah,
And
that's
now I've
right.
seen it, and now I've seen it all.
You started season 1
Yeah.
of Dexter like close to Christmas time. I remember.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I
So
knocked out all like
got
8
through
seasons.
all of it. Right.
And then
All
I
right.
did, the New Blood and now Resurrection. So
That's right. Well, if you're gonna watch it all at once. That's the way to do
Yep.
it. All right, we're out. Take care, everybody. See you next time.